we thought that it would be helpful to share with everybody what Diversion Strategies is hoping to bring to local governments as a service to help implement SB 1383. You may have seen some of these slides before with Nicole Renaro's presentation, but today we're just going to go do a quick overview of what Diversion Strategies, who Diversion Strategies is in the SB 1383 marketplace. So the key discussion points for today is we're going to talk about our role in the marketplace. We're going to talk about our value of holistic system design, and also talk a little bit about how we want to continue to put out this content for people like you that are implementing these programs, and kind of the ways that we're going to be doing that moving forward. Because we've had such great reaction and success to these, we want to keep the content coming. So we're going to try and keep it fresh for you guys. Okay, so moving on, the diversion strategies difference. You might know by now that we have a lifetime of experience working in waste and recycling operations. We're experts on solid waste contracts for all different types of programs, starting at AB 939 implementation to 341 to 1826, and now to the big one, SB 1383. And with that, we've been facilitating successful proposal strategies on RFPs for collection services, post-collection services, organics recycling for over 30 years. And as you're seeing, we have a network of innovators. We don't just rely on our experience and expertise, but we rely on our network that we've been developing over those 30 years of people that are working tirelessly and have the passion to implement, make change, and bring us into the future of recycling. So anytime you work with diversion strategies, you'll certainly be looking at what is possible, what is technologically possible and feasible, and setting you up for future success. So as Ashley already went over, and I know that you have seen so many times, SB 1383 program implementation covers so many bases, from collection and generator management to record keeping and reporting, the implementation record that Ashley spoke about, education and outreach, facility compliance, designee management, which what is designees? That's a new thing we're going to be looking at in solid waste contracts and solid waste programs. And then we can't forget that we also have responsibility over what ends up at the processing facility, and ultimately what the organic commodities are at the end that are serving our communities. And that is procurement, that hits on procurement requirements and marketing plans. And what Diversion Strategies plans to do in helping local governments and JPAs implement SB 1383 is really to take a holistic look and a holistic approach to this, utilizing the tools that already exist out there, like the lessons learned from Andy Reese, or like the model tools that Cal Recycle is putting out. As everyone has mentioned, this is a difficult time with COVID, and a difficult time to ask for rate increases. So we want to be looking at how can we reduce costs overall, system-wide. And in order to do that, to find efficiencies, we have to take a holistic approach at looking at all of the existing agreements, resource recovery assets, planned facilities, existing facilities, demographics, regulatory climate, to come up with a holistic system design and approach to implementing SB 1383. As we have mentioned before, and is a strong value of Diversion Strategies, is that we like to implement and think from a manufacturer's mindset. What is a manufacturer's mindset? Well, a lot of times in this solid waste and recycling industry, industry, we don't see ourselves as part of the supply chain of manufacturing, and it has resulted in some complications, like contamination probably being the major one. And what we mean by manufacturer's mindset, I always like to use the example of like a rubber tire facility. So if you're if you're a rubber tire manufacturer, you are sourcing specced material of rubber to manufacture into a rubber tire. So you go out and you say, you know, who can supply me rubber to this specification. And you know, the difference between that transaction and a recycler as a manufacturer is that in that transaction, the manufacturer is paying for the supply. So they can set specifications which those suppliers meet. But in recycling, it's a bit switched, where the supplier is actually paying the manufacturer to take the material. So that just kind of switch in dynamic has affected things. But if we can get back into that manufacturer's mindset, it allows us to start from the commodity and work our way back. What does that mean? It means designing for the systems in place, and that creates the most efficiency. So being able to go to the manufacturer, understand their specifications, and design the collection program around that. In Wales, we saw that they were using all of the same types of processing, so they had standardized requirements. In California, jurisdictions are going to have different technologies and have different collection requirements. So we really have to be taking in that manufacturer's mindset, thinking from the back of the process forward. SB 1383 certainly presents its challenges, but it's also an opportunity to really take a holistic, as we said, approach to see what's needed and wanted in your solid waste programs, contracts, resources, vendors. As with Diversion Strategies, always takes an assess, strategize, and execute approach to our projects. And so the way it looks in SB 1383 is assessing current programs and contracts and possibilities for the future, understanding where there may be efficiencies by introducing emerging technologies back to that network of innovators, and then our execute portion, which is going through an RFP process or a contract amendment with requirements to ease SB 1383 compliance burden. And finally, this is the three of us. You've seen our faces by now. You can email admin@Diversion Strategies. That's our administrator, Kathy. She'll be happy to set up a time to talk with for you to talk with the Diversion Strategies team, so we can learn a little bit more about you. You can learn a little bit more about us. But in the meantime, we are also going to be bringing you guys content through SB 1383 implementation. We might get crazy, go outside organics. We might, bring in some plastics conversations as well. It's all tied in together. But you will find our conversations on LinkedIn. As we've noted, we're going to be opening up a YouTube channel, putting all our content from this series on our YouTube channel so you can access it again. And then excitingly, we're also going to be bringing the conversation to Facebook. So within the Diversion Strategies page, we're going to be starting conversations there, all solutions focused. So I know CalRecycle has their forums and everything, but we're on our forums, we're going to be talking about solutions that are in the marketplace to help you guys achieve SB 1383 implementation smoothly and seamlessly. And I haven't been able to look at the time, so I